We are finally seeing some pushback against the technocratic nightmare that all of us are going through. And I mean all of us, not just a select few individuals that the media likes to talk about. We were affected, and of course, a lot of other people will be affected as well. Our Facebook page still does not work. But in this video, we want to talk about how the problem's getting worse and how some people are trying to solve this problem looking forward. And the first story that I want to talk about is, of course, what is happening in San Francisco that could become the first city to ban government agencies from using facial recognition technology. It would be the first city in the United States to ban the official use of this technology because, as we are seeing, official people say, we don't want to live in a police state. This is a major move. This is, I believe, a good step forward here, Jason. But it's interesting that this is coming from Silicon Valley, the poop hole city that is San Francisco itself, that is creating a lot of these problems with artificial intelligence and facial recognition, Jason.
Yeah, and I really actually love what the ACLU, an organization that I don't praise all the time, but I think did a great job here in what they had to say. I'm going to read this last quote because it's spot on. It is so spot on. Face surveillance won't make us safer, but it will make us less free. As a global leader in technology, it makes sense that San Francisco would understand face surveillance's dangers and act to prevent its deployment. By drawing this line in the sand, San Francisco can show the rest of the world what tech leadership really means. You know what the only problem with this is, Luke? I had to go to The Guardian, a European publication, to find this article. So they don't want you to know that people are well aware that this stuff is oppressive. This is the next step in track, trace, database technology, and they don't want the government running amok in it in a high-end city like San Francisco where they live.
Yeah. Just to be specific here, this is the Stop Secret Surveillance Ordinance law that would prevent government agencies, including police, from using facial recognition in law enforcement. The bill passed unanimously in a committee vote on Monday and will move to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors for a final vote on May 14th. So May 14th, this will be decided if they will be able to use facial recognition. As you know, we've been screaming about this. Major airports are trying to bring it in to board every single flight out of the United States. We've seen the abuses with this in China, but Jason, doesn't really matter because, again, we're going against government, and government controls doesn't control communications like small monopolies do, which even Rob Schneider of all people, came out and decried publicly in what people are calling a major tweet storm against, quote, progressive Democrats and big tech censorship. I found what Rob Schneider said, what Rob Schneider said here, right on the money here, Jason. Do you want to read off some of the tweets?
Yeah, he was killing it, and I'm a big fan of Rob Schneider. You know, a lot of people pooped all over his big string of hit movies, but Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, good stuff, Rob. Yeah, some other good stuff in there, too. He says, we are in a real-world Orwellian nightmare of censorship. Be careful who you label and smear today. You will be labeled and smeared tomorrow. And I think that's not only a true statement. And then he went even further. He said, hey, man, you know, what happened to the left? He's like, it's just bizarre. Progressive Democrats, who once stood for civil rights, liberty, free speech, now stand for censorship and removing parental rights. And that's why there's such a huge backlash against the left, because he's correct.
Yeah, he's like, hey, we have freedom of speech here. We have civil rights. We have liberty. We have free speech. Can we not remove it, please? The UK and Australia, of course, don't. We got into those governments and what they're doing. They literally want to put you in jail for 5 years in Australia for trolling. That's one of the few videos I did Monday. But what do you expect? I mean, Facebook, big government are working in collusion here, which is one of the big things we've been calling out here on this kind of independent media network. We have literal employees and Hillary Clinton's press directors, literally the point of contact to the media when it comes to all of these bannings. Facebook has deemed individuals that they don't like. Well, guess what? You can't like them too. You can't promote their stuff too. You can criticize them. That's fine. But you can't do what Facebook now tells you you can and cannot do. On Twitter, We just saw parody accounts that were clearly labeled parody accounts just be banned, suspended right now. The Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez press release parody account that said parody in the title, said parody in the description, was taken down with over 60,000 followers. Meanwhile, there's other people on Facebook, on Twitter that are verified that are literally trying to dox children, and they're fine. They don't have any problems with that. As of course, Google is ramping up the facial recognition biometrics database system. And yeah, you forget, they also, Google and Apple, they condone other actions like having a Saudi Arabian wife tracking app. Yeah, that's totally fine. That's not going to be abused in some way. That's not a violation of human rights. That's fine. Political ideas that they don't like, individuals that they don't like. No. That's high priority. We're going to ban you, which is just absolutely ridiculous. What's happening here as of late is sickening, and it's terrifying to see the sway and influence that they have on just no basis. If they were at least honest, they would go after the real problems that are created with social media, but they don't. This is purely political. This is purely about power. This is purely all about politics, and it's sad and it's disgusting, and it's only going to get worse from here amongst companies like Facebook, Google, Twitter, and of course, Amazon, the big tech giants that a lot of people are afraid to even criticize. Jason.
Yeah, and when you said Amazon, you got to understand Amazon wants to use their media presence, right? Because Bezos owns Amazon, he owns the New York Times, he wants to support BuzzFeed by expanding these failing media organizations so they can reach more shoppers outside the US. What does that tell you? That tells you they're not interested in the truth. They're not interested in journalism. They're interested in consumers buying products that they get you to look at and watch through their media outlets. That's all it is. It's consumer journalism. And he's willing. You think he's doing this to lose money? No. He wants space in your mind. That's what he wants, okay? And I want to remind people, okay? We all have these in our pockets. Apple, Google, all these things, Facebook. Facebook now wants to be in your home all the time. We did a video on this, the portal. And when we talk about biometrics, they're not the only one in the game. Right now, Google has announced their Nest Hub, which has full facial recognition in it, Luke. Full facial recognition. This is a high-def camera in your home that moves around. Obviously, the speaker's there, watches your family, and facially recognizes them. Talk about a biometric nightmare. And remember, they are the ones quelling speech. They are the ones saying you're not allowed to have a Facebook page. You're not allowed to have a PayPal. All right? You're not allowed to be searched on our website. We're going to downrank you. Pointer, for instance. Rob Schneider pointed to Pointer. They had put out a list. We Are Change was on it, amongst others. Breitbart also on it. Zero Hedge also on it. And they were just fake news sites. Daily Caller also on it. You go on and on and on. Basically, anybody that did not fall into mainstream media status was deemed fake news. And Pointer working hand in hand with Facebook. Facebook wants to put Portal in your home. So we should allow a fascist company that's working with the government to censor individual speech, even though they're painting it as conservative folks. I promise you, it's not just conservatives. We Are Change is not conservative. We've never been conservative. I promise you. All right. Think about where we're headed. This is it. This isn't the future. This is today. You can buy these products today. Pre-order now.
Yeah. No, thank you. Like you wouldn't. I wouldn't take money to have that thing in my home. I mean, people who do need to be warned. If you know anybody who has one of these spying devices, send them this video, please, and have them do a little bit of research, do a little bit of homework. But most importantly, guys, sign up on our email list. We already lost our Facebook page during this last recent purge. We can't post on there. The only way to keep us fully alive and not silenced is, of course, to sign up on your email so we could actually communicate with you. Again, wearechange.org, top right-hand corner. Sign up on the email list. Crazy story, but again, the story wouldn't have any legs if it wasn't for independent media pushing it out there to the larger public. So again, you guys sharing, you guys participating in independent media is absolutely critical at this time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.